My name is Curran Delahanty, and I'm joined by Forrest Ashmore. And we are Portland Paper, and we stream Modern on Mondays, and now Legacy on Thursdays. This is the first one, so pretty exciting.
Yeah, it should be a good time.
Our first match of the evening is TJ Flowers on a Legacy Whirza list, similar to the Modern list. But upgraded with brainstorms, ponders, force of will, and um, other than that, it's something you might have seen in Modern before.
I'm still disappointed there's no welders or blightsteel in the deck, but
Yeah, well,
maybe next week.
yeah, there are some cards that are in there that I kind of wish there were other cards in there as well. He's not playing any Ballista, for instance. I feel like that's an include, but
It's a really incredible engine, honestly, just from those couple of games.
yeah,
Even though he lost, like
yeah, there were a
twice.
couple losses, but some good testing games. And then on the other side of the table, we have Marshall Lake on four color control. And fun fact, it's Marshall's birthday today. So big happy birthday to Marshall. Congrats on being in the first match of Portland Legacy stream. So
Yeah, I would wish him good luck, but I actually want TJ to win pretty hard. I'm kind of biased. I like this deck.
all right. So looks like
He's
we're
on an
getting some
Astrolabe
cuts in.
list,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
it has Astrolabe for sure. You'll notice that his land base is mostly made up of snow-covered basics as well. Um, Astrolabe offers a lot in that regard, so
Marshall wins the roll, I believe. I have to imagine this match is probably favored for the Whirza deck. I think it's hard to beat Popter Sword going late game.
yeah, TJ is probably going to thrive a lot in this matchup for sure, just because of his long game versus Marshall's. But if Marshall can get an aggressive enough start, it's definitely going to be interesting. Looks like TJ is taking a mulligan. But love that London Mega Legacy Mole rule, it feels more powerful than any other mulligan that I've ever played.
Was that a Nile Spellbound main board?
Yes, that's a one of. I actually have TJ's entire list in front of me just because I wrote it down the other night because it had so many one ofs.
Yeah.
And Nile Spellbomb is definitely a mainstay.
Mind if I see that again?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me go ahead and pull that out for you. Here you are. All right, TJ's
Right.
putting a volcanic island under there. It looks like, and we're off to the races.
Oh, he's got the Ensnaring Bridge main board too. Okay. So
Marshall's
that's his
just gonna
deck.
play a turn and pass here. All right,
Fetch into a basic. Astrolabe looks like.
that's that deck's favorite turn one play.
Yeah. Great stuff. Great card wizards. Thanks.
All right,
Looks like Marshall has Force of Negation, Force of Will, Land.
and
I
yeah,
couldn't tell what the other one was. And we got at least one Force.
he drew a Bloodstained Mire here. He's just gonna go right into play, and he's gonna pass, doing the classic control thing. Land go. TJ
I think
cracking
did
another
he have a
prismatic.
Thopter?
Um,
I think he did.
I think he did. Yeah.
This angle's actually not bad.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a good bit of their hands.
Yeah, good bit of their hands, good bit of their deck too. You can
Mhm.
really, for the viewers at home, you can kind of like maybe pick out a few cards. I know he just scrolled by the one of Ichor Wellspring,
Which is
the
extremely
all-star,
spicy.
the all-star of the deck, really.
When you get going with Baleful Strix, Ichor Wellspring, and Goblin Engineer, gets pretty good.
All right,
Oh,
and
this
there's
gets-
a Baleful Strix. Sadly, no Sword of the Meek in the graveyard for the ultimate combo. When Baleful Strix comes into play, just go ahead and grab that sword.
It's specifically a 1/1, right? Not
Yeah,
not a 1 power.
it's 1/1.
Which is relevant because Urza High Lord Artificer? What's
Yeah,
his name?
Urza Lord High Artificer. He's a 1/4 for 4. So, Urza cannot trigger the sword.
Looks like he's got one in his hand too.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. Let's get to going. But Marshall is doing some stuff here. Probably brainstorming.
I think
Yep.
the first threat they'll end up fighting over is probably TJ's Urza, and Marshall might just sit here.
Yeah, I think that's what they'll end up
He's
fighting over
got
as well.
Force, Jace, Brainstorm, both forces.
Yeah.
Urza, Force, Brainstorm, 2 Ponder, Baleful Strix. Okay. So Marshall has the ability to stop the Urza from coming down, but he's going to lose most of his hand to do it.
So yeah, here's Urza Lord High Artificer, the 1/4 for 4 that makes a bunch of mana and then plays his entire deck. That's kind of what TJ's looking to do this evening, is just get there by setting up Thopter Foundry, Sword of the Meek, and going all the way with Urza. There are a few different win conditions that, yeah, there's one right now. That was Time Sieve in that Ponder. And it goes away. Guess he doesn't want it right now. Probably not a very good card.
All the cards did feel fairly good as, by themselves. Goblin Engineer with any of the artifacts in the deck is fine. Urza generates probably at least a 2/2, and as a 1/4, you start tapping it for mana. But that one's not so good.
Yeah,
By itself.
not the best on its own. All right, down to 17 with the Scalding Tarn fetching. Probably another snow-covered basic. I would bet. Yep, we have the perfect mana base. TJ is not a fan of Ren and 6, and he does everything he can to get around that.
Marshall doesn't care.
Marshall doesn't seem to care about it at all. Okay, so another Baleful Strix comes
He also
down.
has a Tezzeret in his hand.
Yeah.
The problem is TJ's going to start windmill slamming these bombs, and Marshall's not going to have enough counter magic.
Decay goes on the bird.
Doesn't feel particularly good.
Yeah, I'm fine with that play, but like, I would probably be saving decays for things like Thopter Foundry or scarier things than a 1/1, unless you're like trying to deploy a threat and get like things out of the way. So.
Though I believe, does it go? No, it has. It can. You can instant speed disrupt the combo. Urza makes it weird, because we ran into that situation we were watching the other game with Scavenging Ooze on the board.
Right.
With Urza, Thopter Sword, and it could not disrupt the combo at all because they generate the mana too quickly and can continue to generate blue mana and activate Sword again.
Alright, so Marshall pulls out an Underground Sea, flexing on these dual lands.
What is that wasteland there, though?
I don't know. But
one
this
is
is
that?
what TJ came prepared for. This is the dream. Like, that wasteland at best will help pay for Jace the Mind Sculptor. And here we go.
So this is what they'll fight over first.
So no oh, we are going to see a Force of Will from TJ going down to 16, and Marshall forces back. Pitching Negation. That's... Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Alright, so he's brainstorming here.
Now the Abrupt Decay feels a lot better. He was pretty confident that Jace would resolve.
Right.
So it'll stick on the board for longer.
Yeah, the Force of Negation should have gone against the Force of Will. That's what I was thinking about in that process, just because of the life loss.
This matchup is unusual pre-board because I'm pretty sure both decks are only on pitch counter magic and not very much of it, and they just kind of windmill slam their bombs. So Marshall being on the play here actually mattered a lot.
Yeah, it really did.
What is that?
It feels like TJ is just missing some land here. Like, I think he's got a Prismatic Vista in hand, but TJ wants to get to like 5 or 6 mana before he's super comfortable with being able to cast a lot more spells and commit more to the board. But
And he's already on the clock here.
yeah,
I don't think this deck deals with a resolved Jace very well pre-board.
Now that's the key though. Will Marshall start to aggressively tick up, or will he continue to use it as a brainstorm factory, trying to answer everything else that TJ is casting?
He has another force in his hand, but
And
the
the
two
Strix is also
sixes.
present pressure,
Mm-hmm.
so that decay now looking better for this
He drew another
situation.
one, I think.
Yep. So yep, Jace is going to brainstorm. He's going to find a lot more magical
All right,
cards.
okay, so Marshall's about to get blown out by the Gear per Ada grid into tapping both of his Astrolabs to finish off the Jace next turn.
Oh no, not the Aether.
And then it'll get forced anyways, but it'd be really cool. And I think it's a 1-of anyways, the Gear per.
Yeah, but Marshall's gonna put some cards back. Still almost done resolving brainstorm. He's got Thopter Sword, Urza, and what's that last card?
Yeah, the Tezzeret, right?
Tezzeret, yeah. Okay. So a lot of the powerful plays ready to go. He's just gonna have to basically chew through these forces.
Which would feel a lot better if there wasn't already a Jace on the board, putting Marshall ahead.
But the good news is that TJ can attack first and be able to lure out Decay before casting any spells. At least, hopefully, that's the approach here. That's what I would be doing.
So he's actually casting now.
Looks like he is going. Yeah. Looks like he's gonna cast now.
Tezzeret. Maybe.
Ooh.
No, really.
All right, Urza.
Hmm.
So that's gonna be force number one. I don't know. Maybe
if
he values the Tezzeret more.
if that resolves, he taps 2 Astrolabs and possibly the Strix, but doesn't. Oh, now he has a Black Source, so he could have cast the Tezzeret afterwards. It's still threatened.
So Snapcaster Mage is probably targeting Abrupt Decay here. That's good for Marshall. He's got a lot of decays going on right now, and that's super important. But again, it really comes down to time and like what TJ can draw back into at this point. I mean, that was only Urza number one. There are 4.
It helps that he's had, I think, 3 Strixes to pressure the Jace.
Yeah, so we are on Strix number 3 right now.
It's definitely keeping him in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the deck, it definitely suffers from some clunky draws, and Ursa does not feel nearly as good with a Jace sitting on the board.
Here we go. Inquisition of Kozilek.
So there goes his combo.
So there goes Thopter Foundry, because Sword is, you know, Sword of the Meek.
But he still gets to jam the Tezzeret next turn, which is pretty decent.
See, TJ just made the joke about it too. He was like, come on, you want to take Sword of the Meek. You don't want the Thopter Foundry. I need that. Alright, so
TJ doesn't
Inquisition.
play removal, does he?
No. Well, Aether Grid is removal.
Alright.
You know, so.
The deck has a lot going on, for sure.
So now Strix is in a position to kill Jace again. No, we know that Marshall has a decay, but TJ can still attack here and take the decay out before casting anything. Looks like that's the approach we're going on this time. Decay, got him down. Alright.
Tell what he drew. What is that?
Hold on. That is, well, Tezzeret's coming down, so that's good. Now we have ourselves a proper Planeswalker battle.
Let's see. Tezzeret Agent of Bolas is +1. Grab an artifact in the top 5 of your deck. The minus is the drains them for a bunch based on your artifacts.
Looks like TJ missed entirely. Showed us that he had a Force of Will, a few lands. I think what? I think that was a Goblin Engineer as well. That's on bottom. So.
And the minus makes a 5/5. Have an artifact.
Yes. Let's pull up Tezzeret Agent of Bolas really quick here. Just because he doesn't see as much play as he used to.
It's the permanent one, yeah.
Yeah, so +1 is basically look at the top 5, pick an artifact, put in your hand, put the rest on bottom. -1, make a 5/5, and then Draining Gain is his ultimate there, based on artifacts in play. So I used to play a lot of him in Standard, actually, when he was legal back then. That was a lot of
I
fun.
forgot you played that.
Bug
5/5
Tesserator.
Vault Scourges.
Yeah, it was great. But the battles are quite different in Legacy, so. Oh, and there's the fabled one. Ren in 6. Waste you again. Luckily, TJ is not the most worried about that strategy, obviously. He's got another card here. What did we draw?
Nothing live, I don't think.
A Time Sieve. Yeah, super not live.
The double Wasteland really hurt.
Well, he's got another Thopter Foundry, and he's just like looking for his opportunity here. Oh, he's making Astrolabe a 5/5. Here we go. Astrolabe is a 1-drop that draws a card, filters your mana, and attacks your opponent's planeswalkers for 5.
Look, the analogy I was making earlier is that it gets made into a big dude. It can drain your opponent, or not drain, but ping your opponent with the Gear per Aether Grid. You can tap it for mana. It's basically Deathrite Shaman in this deck.
But anyway, we see a Decay go at Astrolabe.
Is that number 4? 3? No, he snapped.
Yeah, he Snapcaster Mage Decay. This is Decay number 3. And that's good. TJ realized that and sprung on his opportunity to cast a Thopter Foundry here. I think that's good while he's tapped out. And now he still has access to swords, so he can get online here. He's at 16.
Please tell me it wasn't a Kolaghan's Command.
That is a Kolaghan's Command. That's
Damn it.
upsetting. What happened there? Oh, he sacked it to make a Thopter. So he gained 1 life, going to 17. Okay, so yeah, 2 damage, blow up Thopter, Foundry, bummer. But TJ still has more in him. Looking at an empty board with 3 snow-covered basics.
That might be the end.
Yeah.
So he's leaning to Wasteland, though. Thank God.
Yeah, at least, like, he could probably draw stuff and make something happen. Like, he does play a 1-of Ensnaring Bridge, which would also be weird right now.
Still loses.
Yeah, still loses to Jason Wren, but
he has multiple life sources of decay. He needs to top deck into a
Ichor Wellspring.
Oh, that's sweet.
There it is.
He needs
Token
the
Ichor Wellspring.
There's
an island. Yeah. He's making the business right now. Like, that was a good set of draws for him. He really wants to be on 4 mana for a lot of his stuff anyway. So, like, at the very least, he's set up. And again, he's still at a pretty high life total. Marshall's putting some work in, though, towards that Ren and 6 ultimate. If he can just find a bolt after that, it's probably lights out. But
he's on 4 Foundry, right?
He's on 4 Foundry. Yeah, that's correct.
He has some number of Tezzerets. Was it 1 Tezzeret?
It's 1 Tezzeret. Yeah, most of his stuff is like 4 or 1, and that's where we're at in his deck list.
All right, yeah. For the viewers, 1 Ichor Wellspring, 1 Time Sieve, 1 Gear per Aether Grid, 1 Ensnaring Bridge, 1 Whir of Invention, 1 Nile Spellbomb, and 1 Tezzeret Agent of Bolas.
Just a great list of cards right there.
Along with 4 of the usual stuff you'd expect.
Yeah, well, actually, he does have a 3-of. It's Goblin Engineer.
How is that not a 4-of?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know how he did that.
That's ridiculous.
It's upsetting. He must have really wanted to include that one of Nile Spellbomb main deck. Worried about some grave decks. Brainstorm resolves. So, while we were talking about that, Whirza had gotten deployed there, and
which is something. It's harder to get rid of now that it's here.
Yeah,
Jace
can't be bolted, can't be decayed.
To kill himself to bounce
Marshall happens to not be playing white, so there's no plow to be worried about. It's pretty real. So Whirza resolves. The construct goes into play. And it looks like it's on Marshall here to make an end of turn play. He's gonna cycle Lonely Sandbar. I didn't even know he played that.
Yeah,
do you know he played that?
It's a 1-of in a lot of the Ren 6 lists. Yeah.
Oh, right. That makes sense.
Yep. I think he probably should have ticked up Jace one of these turns to get it out of number 1 gear per range, though I'm not sure if Marshall knows he plays that, and then also to be able to bounce Urza, because Urza is really the one card in TJ's deck that's really, really online still.
Yeah. No, I don't believe Marshall will be expecting Gear Pure Aether Grid. Marshall's a pretty seasoned veteran of Legacy around here. His land base kind of speaks for itself.
I don't know if anyone's seasoned enough for this.
Well, you know, been around for years. Alright, so -1 on Jace, bouncing his own Snapcaster Mage.
For what's he snapping back?
Probably Kolaghan's Command, maybe.
But that doesn't kill it though.
So I think he's
Bolt in hand?
yeah, he's probably got Bolt in hand.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely gonna have to be a combination of cards from Marshall to answer a resolved Urza. And here comes Bolt.
Yeah.
Sure enough, Urza down. That's only Urza number 2 though. There's still hope. Here we go. Seasoned Pyromancer. Yeah. He is seasoned. Alright, Brainstorm.
That discard feels really bad now with the Brainstorm off the top.
Yeah.
Got land, Strix. Can play the Strix into...
to fetch land. Probably crack it because he knows he'll be avoiding a draw. Or he'll get a random draw next turn. Deciding whether he wants to send the Construct to war. Baleful Strix is putting a hard stop on that, though, it looks like. And we are going to see Marshall untap and potentially just ultimate with Ren and 6. Though I wouldn't be surprised if he kept it around for one more turn. Nope, he's just going for it. So Bolt over and over is going to be a pretty quick end to this game, I think. But it depends on how many lands Marshall is able to draw into and everything, so...
It's got Badlands, Volk. TJ still can get back in the game if he has a Doppler Foundry through the Force of Will.
Yeah.
And something else in there? Nothing else looks reactive. But
I see Ponder, maybe Counterspell?
It's a tall order, though. Regardless, is he jamming out a Jace? Is that a Jace? What the hell is that? Get out of here.
Yeah, that's a Jace the Mind
Good
Sculptor.
Lord,
It's
Marshall.
upsetting me, though, to look at. Why? Okay, it's fine. It's a Jace the Mind Sculptor, everyone. It's hard to see on camera that that's a Jace the Mind Sculptor, but that's exactly what that is. I thought Marshall had other Jaces. I've never seen him slam that against me. I guess he picked it up recently and he thought it was cool.
He's just doing that to bother us.
Yeah, it's it goes really well with whatever lightning bolts those are.
Oh, they're new frames.
Alright, TJ, you just gotta believe, man. Just gotta stay in it.
Should I draw Goblin Engineer? There's a red card.
It was exactly that, which is also a good late game card if Marshall doesn't have an answer to it. Do you think Marshall will waste a force here, or do you think he'll just try to like snap bolt it? Well, he wants to force it here for like
he's already on the bolt plan with Ren and 6 anyways, so.
So yeah, it looks like it resolves. TJ's gonna grab, I don't know. What do you grab at this point?
Not much.
I will be interested to see what he ends up selecting here from his list. He selected now Spellbomb. Not a bad option against Snapcaster Mage, but we need to get to a point where the ability can activate for the Goblin guy.
I believe that was the only card left in his deck that was actually tutorable for...
No, I think Time Siev's still in there.
No, he milled it, or not milled it, he discarded it to Kolaghan's Command.
Okay, gotcha. Alright, Baleful Strix and Construct coming in for 5 damage. Baleful Strix comes through. And a lot of dead birds this game. Yep. So there goes the Goblin Engineer. We're on Infinite Bolts, Infinite Decays. Well, I mean, as many lands anyway.
Inquisition off the top. Not much.
Oh, there's Brendan 6. The
Yikes.
Bolt Supplier. Oh no, let's ping the Baleful Strix.
Might as well.
Got time. Plenty of it.
Marshall could F6 right now and go use the bathroom for a while. Come back, probably still be winning. That's a fetch line on the top. Also not great.
I'm curious to see what the boarded game will look like.
I think the game looks a lot different when both players have access to Pyroblast. There we go.
You know, I looked at TJ's sideboard and Pyroblast is not in there.
Excuse me.
His sideboard is, it's got like 2 Needle, 1 Gravedigger's Cage, 1 Engineered Explosives, you know, like the tutorable artifact package, and then he's got another Tezzeret, and some, I can't even remember what else is in there right now. I think some point discard, maybe some spot removal. It's an interesting sideboard right now. It's a very early sideboard for him. He's just put this list together and everything. So
Is it considered outside assistance if I go out there and hit him upside the head a couple times?
I don't know if that would be considered outside assistance or not, but so yeah, Marshall.
So does any of that really help?
Huh?
Does any of that really help in this matchup?
What, slapping someone
Yeah,
upside
no.
the head?
No, it's sideboard.
Yeah, no. I feel like the sideboard should help. He's picking some cards, so clearly there's some fire ones in there.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see. But the birthday boy is up 1 game right now. Must be a dream.
I think his list also, in hindsight, actually looks a lot better against what TJ's trying to do than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I haven't seen Marshall around in a little while. I know he was always running the 4-color control with Death Rights before this. It looks like he hasn't really shifted at all. Just adopted Renin 6, and, you know, other than that, his list hasn't changed all that much.
I don't think so.
Yeah, making some hard cuts over there.
From what I saw, his worst cards are probably... You kind of want to keep Bolt, because you don't want to overload your decays too much, I don't think.
Right.
Especially because you're on the draw, so you want to be able to kill a turn 2 Goblin Engineer pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, Decay just, like, gets through TJ's Force of Wills, but he doesn't... I mean, that's all the interaction that TJ plays anyway, so it's pretty easy to probably just navigate through that. As far as reaction from the Whirza pile.
So you probably shave a couple of bolts. Is that right? I think that was a Renin 6 being cut. Yeah, I mean, Renin 6 pings a couple of guys. Wasteland's not super valuable. He's probably on 3. Bleak's cutting 1, maybe 2. We're not, like, terribly excited to draw that card in this matchup, I think.
Yeah. Man, the sleeving Marshall has on his deck is also just unwieldy.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know how he triple sleeves.
Yeah, it's got the perfect fit.
It's so hard to play with.
Yeah, and then I mean, those art sleeves are beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Like, I do hate when I buy an art sleeve pack and then like a month later it's like basically torn apart because like the riffle shuffle just kills it.
I also hate when I buy an art sleeve pack because I'm just like, man, I threw away $10.
I threw it away. Yeah. From Cairo in the chat says Decay and K commands look great there.
Yeah. All he really needs in the matchup is to keep drawing as many Snapcasters and Jaces as possible, which makes the lack of Pyroblast not look so good.
And I just happen to know that that is Ben Nash, just chilling there.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
What's
Doxed.
up, Ben?
Good old Ben.
Is Allie from Cairo your spirit animal, Ben?
I believe that Ali from Cairo is his spirit animal.
That could be tech in this matchup.
It's just too bad that neither player is playing white.
TJ was 3 colors, right?
Yeah.
There was no weird splash in there.
Wait, can we pull up Ali from Cairo really quick?
No, he's the
He's the red
red
guy.
the red guy.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I think I'm confusing with another card. What's the card I'm thinking of?
Yeah, there he is.
Okay, oh, he is. Is that it's an online version?
Pull him up here really quick for viewers at home. Ali from Cairo.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's here to save you.
Maybe it gets a little bit worse in a red and 6 meta.
Alright, here we go into game 2. Looks like TJ's taking a mulligan.
That was a long game too, which kind of matters in this matchup. Though TJ's deck wins really fast if it can actually get going.
Yeah, I want to see the turn
turn
1
4
Astrolabe, turn 2 Goblin Engineer puts Sword of the Meek into the graveyard, turn 3 Baleful Strix. Look at this, double force, double Inquisition, lands. Yeah, this is a hand.
That's at least 2 brainstorms.
That's a Baleful Strix. Okay, yeah.
That was a Pithing Needle too. TJ's hand feels pretty comfortable, as long as you can play the longer game.
Alright, well, here we go. So Marshall has 2 Inquisitions, 2 Force of Wills, 1 Baleful Strix, and 2 Fetch Lands. He's feeling pretty good. Or no, 1 Fetch Land and 1 Wasteland.
TJ goes land fetch duel, presumably, yep.
I can't believe I confused that Foily Wasteland for a Fetch Land, but whatever. It's fine.
It's hard to tell.
Is he gonna waste? Did he see how many basics TJ plays?
Alright, I don't think that's correct when someone keeps a ponder like that. There's no way.
Yeah, they gotta be prepared in some degree.
Makes the triple land look even better now, too.
Alright, so Badlands and Inquisition is to be expected. We see Baleful Strix, Brainstorm, Force, Pithing Needle, and Island. What do you take here with your Marshall? Probably the Brainstorm, right?
Brainstorm. I don't think you care about the Strix that much.
Yeah, and I don't think Pithing Needle is particularly something you need to deal with now, especially when you're playing Kolgan's Command. You can make that go away at any time. So, alright.
Marshall also has a very counter-heavy hand. He can answer just about anything if he needs to, and he doesn't mind getting dinked by a Strix. But the Brainstorm will definitely keep TJ over the top. I would say, yeah, I don't... TJ's deck is too clunky to let him have a card like Brainstorm, I think. He's going to have so many dead cards like Time Sieve or Gear Parade that are great that he wants to put back. You're just giving him free cards by not taking the Brainstorm. So,
yep, the Baleful Strix got taken. And now TJ's got a Brainstorm set up. Drewski in the chat says Legacy hype. Yeah. Good. We love to see more Legacy content. This is a great thing that Portland Paper has started. Covering some Legacy, definitely.
He's just going to jam the Ren 6.
Alright, so, yep, Tropical Island. Sounds like Ren 6 is coming down the pipe. Gotta shuffle the huge deck. The unwieldy,
the brick,
triple-sleeved, beautiful deck. Here comes... Oh, no, Baleful Strix. Okay. That seems fine. I enjoyed that.
The Ren 6 is not particularly useful, especially because he binned the Strix.
Alright, TJ going with the main phase Brainstorm here.
I probably would have been a little more conservative with that. I don't think he's under a lot of pressure right now.
Looks like Marshall's going to force Fitch and Force here, though. So, yeah. I don't know if...
So he knows about the Needle. So he knows he's on Force No blue card plus an unknown card. And
Right.
he's with
So
that he just pitched both of his forces. And he doesn't have anything to follow up really except for the Renin 6. It doesn't matter that much.
um yeah, it only matters in the sense that TJ has an underground sea out, but that's all it's gonna get unless TJ decides to preemptively slam this pithing needle. I think that's his consideration right now. And it looks like he's gonna fetch down to 19 here with Polluted Delta and grab another snow-covered island.
That's risky. Although the only red in the deck is Engineer, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
this is
the
not on
engineer
the
and the
sideboard.
Gear Pure Aether Grid.
Oh yeah, can't forget that.
Cannot forget the Aether Grid. Sword of the Meat comes down, actually, it looks like here. Just chilling on the table. Marshall doesn't care about that, it looks like.
So is there really... So if he gets wastelanded here, which was reasonably possible from TJ's point of view, I can't imagine being on double blue is better than being on blue-black.
Oh, it looks like Pithing Needle's gonna go away. Force of Will just chilling on its own. And here comes Renin 6.
Yep.
Pick up Wasteland. He's already made land drop for turn. And it'll be a pass to TJ. TJ's going off the top. Yeah, Goblin Engineer is the draw for TJ, so it's just a pass. Here comes Wasteland. Pick it back up. Run in 6. Alright. Beats TJ, putting him to 18. Astrolabe comes down. Here we go.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Some mana fixing.
That helps a lot.
There's another Astrolabe. Alright. Wow, what a rip.
Unstoppable.
Oh my gosh, and another land.
It's the most resilient mana base I've
ever seen.
This guy's good.
What's Renin 6 gonna do? Pick up fetch lands? Got him.
Yes.
Alright, looks like Baleful Strix is attacking for 1.
But Marshall has to actually slam a bomb at some point here, because suddenly he's not actually nearly in as comfortable a position as he thought he was.
Yeah, so TJ gets to play spells now.
Yeah.
He's gonna tap Astrolabe, and it looks like Goblin Engineer is probably about to come down here.
He's got a Decay in hand for it.
Oh, it could be a Baleful Strix.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, Strix seems a good start. I enjoyed that.
You want to draw into a land here, ideally? Nope. What was that?
Thopter Foundry.
That's pretty good.
That's actually...
He's on low lands.
We know Marshall's down 2 Force of Wills, as well as 2 Inquisitions, so he's looking pretty protected on the Thopter right now. If TJ could just draw a blue card next turn, he's probably in a really great position to just force Thopter in there.
I think you want to play conservatively here and just drop the Goblin Engineer and try to bait a Abrupt Decay.
Are we gonna
or a force, potentially.
Are we gonna see a ping on Baleful Strix here? Or are we gonna see a fetch and pick up, I wonder? Yep, we're well, no. It looks like Ren's staying on 6 for the moment. Marshall's verifying the amount of cards in TJ's hand, 3. Looks like Marshall's gonna make the decision to fetch after that. What do you think he gets? Volcanic Island?
Doesn't matter.
Underground Sea? Alright, there it is. I like to bet on what duels they're grabbing. There has to be, like, some optimal version of, like, which duels you deploy first and everything.
Well, what happens here is you either cast all the spells in your deck, regardless of what your opponent plays, or your opponent plays back to basics, and you're not having a good time.
See, TJ has 3 islands, which is perfect back to basics mana. What are we doing here?
Beautiful.
Alright, there's a Polluted Delta, so you can go grab Snow-Covered Swamp now.
I think he has to slow roll this Thopter Foundry. I mean, obviously we are coming from the perspective of that DS Marshall does have an Abrupt Decay in his hand, but you're already a little bit behind. And the best way to get into this game is if you can get Thopter Sword going.
Yeah.
And if you can force him in a situation where he taps out, or burns the Decay on something else, you're going to be a lot better off. Also, did you draw a blue card?
Any answer tests in the house? I missed that message. It like snuck under there.
Is anyone playing Storm besides me?
No, I don't. Well, there is a Storm player, but he's not present this evening. Looks like Marshall fetches and goes to 16 here. Yeah, so Thopter Foundry on the stack, probably. Oh, in the yard.
So it's already cast Force, yeah.
Yeah, he probably vocalized Force.
Mm-hmm.
I think we may have missed that. Goblin Engineer now grabbing another piece. Oh, there's
It's
a
nice that he gets to
cage.
resolve the engineer and get another piece, but it just dies to so much more in the deck.
So he sees Grafdigger's Cage. He's thinking about now Spellbomb as well. What's he gonna... He's shuffling. No, he's thinking. Okay, so now Spellbomb goes in the yard from Goblin Engineer. And here we're...
Oh, Pyroblast off the top is making that sequence look a lot better.
Here we go. Renin 6, Ultimate again. 2 games in a row. But can TJ get out? We'll see. So he retraces Inquisition to Kozilek. TJ has Force of Will in hand by itself, so Inquisition won't grab anything. He's going to naturally decay the Engineer.
And now he's sitting on
Now he's sitting on
Pyroblast.
Decay as well. Well, no, now he's not. Well, he's probably going to find another land.
He won't need to instant speed decay because he can Pyroblast another Thopter Sword off the top. So
That's fair, yeah. Shuffling it up here. Gotta say, definitely saw quite a few games that TJ's played with Whirza, and this is like the first time that it's looked this close.
game one
and
really
brutal.
came down to the die roll.
Yeah.
Because whoever played proactively first was very far ahead that game when they're both trying to like windmill slam 4 drops. And this game, Marshall having Pyroblast is pretty relevant, but hasn't been relevant yet.
While TJ has seen a lot of cards, he's not seen Ponders and Brainstorms very often this game, and I feel like that, you know, lacking the cantrips, the deck starts to lose power, just because, like, there are like 20 cantrip spells, or there are like 20 dig spells in TJ's deck, like, if you count the Engineers, the Brainstorms, the Ponders, the one of Ichor Wellspring, and, I think that's it.
The bigger problem.
Whir is also a dig spell.
The bigger problem is that he's so far behind on cards. He doesn't actually got any of his card advantage spells online.
Yeah.
He has A Strix versus Marshall Strix, and then who knows how many Ran 6 activations that was.
There's Thopter. He's got the Pyroblast. Or, no, it's going to be a 4, or, yeah, Hardcast Force. Jeez, that's the second one. Marshall just sitting on these forces one at a time.
I haven't actually had a lot of opportunities to see the Ren 6 Ultimate yet, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's very good. I've only seen it one time prior to this, honestly. It seems like Renin 6 just says game over before it even gets there usually, but not against TJ's mana base. And there's Pyroblast. Is that 3 Foundries in the yard now? Or 2? Just the 2? I think the 2.
Jeez.
Thank you to Grateful for subscribing with Twitch Prime for 2 months. We really appreciate the support.
What's he jamming? Oh.
Look, sounds like he just named Thopter with Plague Engineer there. So that is good there.
What did he just draw into?
Okay. Tax for 3.
Is that a Jace? I think it's a Jace. This is weird foil one.
Oh, hey Quentin, thank you for joining us this evening for the Legacy stream here. Looks like Urza comes down. And yep, he pitches land to Pyroblast, Force pitch Force,
Pyroblast again.
Pyroblast again.
Yep.
Yeah, Marshall's very much in control with his retrace spells. Um, of anything that goes on. I believe that we're watching the door close with the Plague Engineer and Baleful Strix applying the damage.
With the phrasing of retrace, can you
Yes.
cast the same spell on the stack twice by discarding a land?
Uh, I don't
Did he
actually know
have
the
to?
ruling behind
Did he
that.
have to have 2 Pyroblasts there in the yard? I think
Yeah, it goes on the stack, so yeah,
so.
it is.
The card itself leaves the yard. Okay.
Yeah. All right, and that's it. The birthday boy Marshall Lake takes his first round 2-0 with his 4-color control list. TJ with the Whirza list. Unfortunately, did not get the games that he wanted to get there, but I've seen it go off too. It's a good deck when it goes, but
Yeah,
without
TJ.
all those cantrips, it gets pretty brutal.
He should get some Ren 6 in his deck. It might help.
Yeah, absolutely.